We're group 2G, and we're going to talk a little bit more about ITIL service design today. And what ITIL service design is, it's basically when a new process or a new activity begins in a new system or in a company regarding IT, that this is properly designed. Or when there's a change in a big process, for example, everything needs to be designed. So that's what service design is in a nutshell. And we're going to talk a little bit more about each of the processes that occur in service design. The first one being design coordination. Design coordination is just the coordination, it's what it says, it's the coordination of all design activities, processes, and resources. So basically, when a new activity is created, for example, we make sure that we have it properly designed before. And it includes design coordination support, which is just the coordination and development of the service design resources and capabilities in a project or in a system, and planning to make sure that all the everything is properly planned before an execution, and or the last one, service design review and RFC submission. This is basically just some deliverables at the end of a project, followed by service catalog management, which is all the available resources and all available customer facing view of the products offered by the organization. And it's basically user interface where you go and you can easily edit and you can easily see everything that the IT organization offers.
Okay, so service level management is pretty important for ITIL service design because you have to make sure that whatever service you're offering to a business, your customers, um, will meet their demands. So when you're designing a service, of course, you're going to need to get input from whoever's going to use it, either internal company users or customers. And from conversations with them, you'll figure out how available your service needs to be. So if you tell them that they'll be able to access your tool 24/7, you can make sure the tool is actually available 24/7. These agreements are very important because if there's a violation in an agreement with a customer, you usually have to pay out um, some sort of thing, either money, more time, more support, um, any number of things. And because downtime and technical problems are sometimes something that will always happen, you have to plan how your company will be able to manage these problems. You have to make sure that you have staff available to troubleshoot and resolve these problems in a reasonable amount of time.
Capacity management. What is it? One of the biggest problems faced by IT departments is that of matching supply to demand. Too much resource results in wastage, while too little causes frustration for the business and a headache for IT. Capacity management involves doing a set of activities. Review some current capacities and performance. Are we delivering the requirements? Yes or no? Improve current service and components capacity. Assets agree and document new requirements and capacity. Do we understand customers' current and future demands for IT resource? Plan new capacities. Can we produce forecasts for future requirements? Capacity management is concerned with speed and efficiency. If IT capacity forecasts are accurate and the amount of IT capacity in place meets business needs, then the capacity management process is a success. There is another component as well that is tightly integrated with capacity management, that is, availability management. The purpose of availability management is to provide a cost-effective and defined level of availability so the organization can depend on systems to reach the business objectives. The availability management team reviews service level agreements and ensures the most effective contingency plans are put in place and tested on a regular basis to ensure business needs are met. But Why should I implement availability management? Well, there are some benefits to implementing availability management process. Services are available for use during expected time frame as is specified in service level agreements. Services are provisioned on a specific infrastructure depending upon their availability needs. This avoids unnecessary costs due to provisioning services with longer recovery times, more expensive high availability platforms, and potential service availability issues are identified and corrected before they can impact the service.
Awesome. So the next segment is IT service continuity management. So this segment of the process actually has to do with risk and reducing the risk that disaster events, from disaster events rather, down to an acceptable level to the company. So from the slide, you see that it aims to manage risks that could seriously impact the IT service of an organization. So this has four sub-processes that go along, which are support, design services, training and testing, and review. And to do the last two, the ITSCM review along with the training and testing, they're very similar. They just ensure that the preventative measures are working properly, except that review also includes ensuring that measures are still in line with the risk perceptions on the business side. Support has to do with making sure that all of the IT staff members know their responsibilities for fighting the disasters. They know exactly what their roles are. It also means making sure that the relevant is information in the event of a disaster, if a disaster were to occur. And then the last one, design services for continuity. This aims to design continuity mechanisms that meet the business targets, such as risk reduction measures and recovery plans. So these mechanisms should be justifiable in terms of cost and the risks that they mediate.
So we all know that ITIL doesn't provide the tools for us to, it doesn't tell you like a step-by-step, oh, use this technology or use that technology. So that's the role of architecture management, is just to define a blueprint of the enterprise. When there are new available technologies, that you are able to implement those and not use some outdated old technology. If there's something available that's better for you to use. And there are some definitions under architecture management, like application framework, which is just basically the migration from old to the new frameworks, and to make sure that people are reusing the things in the enterprise. That's not just everyone's doing their own thing. Change request is about just having, when there's a change in enterprise architecture, it's just a request to change. In enterprise architecture, we all know that's the description of the essential components of a business. And the owner of the architecture management is, of course, the enterprise architect.
So security management is also something that needs to be kept in mind when designing a new ITIL service. One of the vital functions of the security team is to make sure that all standards in the industry are met and there's compliance with any regulations such as HIPAA. The security team basically makes sure that the physical hardware providing the service is secure, as well as all the data on the hardware that is being used by the service. The designers also need to make sure there's a process in place to allow monitoring of the service and of the hardware. So in case any problems arise, there's a way to figure out what went wrong and then correct it in future iterations of the service. ITIL also has a best practice framework for security management called the Management of Risk Framework.
So supply management. Supply management plays a key role in the service management. We manage suppliers, typically third parties, although some can be internal suppliers, and services they provide to the client. The aim is to ensure quality, consistency, and value for money. In other words, at the right price. But what is the objective of supply management? Well, supply management monitors conformance to the contract conditions and addresses any breaks. A renewal supply management will determine whether to renew, negotiate, or end the contract. The objective of supply management is to ensure alignment of contract with the needs of the business. It is also responsible for ensuring suppliers are meeting their commitments.
Perfect. And the last one is information security and compliance management. In a nutshell, information security management's goal is to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of an organization's information, data, and IT services. So it's a more general approach to security management than the IT service provider. It's important to note that ITIL only highlights the most important activities. It doesn't provide detailed standards. So there are 4 sub-processes to information security management, which are design, the security testing, management of security incidents, and security review. So the first one, the goal of this sub-process is to appropriately design different measures to secure the company's assets, including the physical assets as well as information, data, services, etc. In security testing, it's pretty self-explanatory. We just need to do regular testing of all security mechanisms to ensure that everything is working properly. And then the management of security incidents, this process includes detecting and fighting off attacks of intrusions, as well as trying to minimize the damage that occurs from security breaches. And the last one, review, is again just doing maintenance and making sure that everything is working properly. And compliance, we tied this in with it. Compliance management highlights the most important activities and assists in identifying interfaces with other service management processes. There's actually no dedicated compliance management process. Rather, compliance issues are addressed within several processes in the ITIL map individually. So this has been Service Design. We hope you enjoyed the video.